Today I'm going to work on the frame jig or template. What I came up with is, after seeing different ideas in the cornhole groups, I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate the jig into the table. That way when I need the jig, I can set it up, I can screw the frame into the table, and when I don't need it, I can take it apart, put it away in a box until I need it. And that way it'll save up space and it'll save time when I'm making the boards. So after coming up with some ideas, what I was going to do is just, frame it out with different pieces of wood, lock it in like here and here, and then when I put the boards down, boom, the boards would just go down. It'd be something simple. And then I got this thing from Rodler. I wanted to test it out for corners. So you put, you put one board here, you put one board here, and then that makes the corner, and then you screw them together and you'll be done. And then I had the idea, well, you know what? They sell these for $10 each. I could just buy some of these and just use those, and I may end up doing that. So you just use those, and then and so I need one, two. So for the inside, something like that. But what I think, then what I decided to do is, since I had some extra wood lying around, I would just make those. So you get, let's see here. This side would be here. This side would be here. Whatever. And then let's see, how would I do that? Oh, it'd be like this. Anyway, I could make these out of scrap wood, and then I wouldn't have to buy any more of these. Although it takes more time, all you'd have to do is just order these. In a couple days you'd get them. So in the meantime, what I decided to do is, if I use this as a template for where the screws go into the table, even if I mimic them with wood, I'd still use these where these holes are as a template. So what I did is I put the frame where I would want it to be on the table. I made this quick little jig so that I could measure it all the way around so that it would kind of be symmetrical. And then what I did is I took this drill block and a 1/4 inch drill bit to drill the holes through this into the table. And the reason I did a 1/4 inch drill bit is because, let's see, the screws I'm going to use are 1/4 inch. So it would go through here and it would go into the table, and then these things screw into the table and like this. So I started off with 1/4 inch drill bit, drilled right through the table, and then once there was a hole, then I went to a 5/16 inch bit, which that's what this becomes, to screw it in. Screwed it in, and then this is a hex bit, and then I just screwed it in to the table. And let's see if you can see right here. So this will screw into the table, and then we don't need it. You really wouldn't see it. Let me grab the camera real quick and I'll show you. So, and these are really, really cheap. I mean, you get 50 of them for like $7, but see how it's this little thing, and they have those ridges that you can screw in, and they go right into the table. Let's see if I can zoom in. See, they go right into the table. They'll screw right in like that, and then you could just screw in your jig. And then when you didn't need it, you unscrew it, you put it in a box until next time. So I'm going to work with this for a little bit, and make the corner jigs, and I think how I'm going to do them, I'm going to, I'll put them together like this with the Kreg, a couple of Kreg screws, and then it will just basically mimic this. And that's kind of the idea. So I'll work on that, and then I'll come back with the video and show you when they're done. And then I'll show you how I did the holes for this. Okay, so I made some brackets. What I just did is I mirrored this bracket that I got from Rockler, and I used the same wherever the holes were for this. That's where I put the holes for this. Again, in case I want to just switch to this plastic bracket, and where these are going to go, they're just going to go one there, one over here, and of course one over there. Now what I'm going to do, I'll show you how I drilled the holes for where they're going to set. Again, I used a simple drill block, and then I have a 1/4 inch drill bit, because the screws that I'm going to use, or the bolts I'm going to use, are 1/4 inch. But this is a, what was it, 5/16 inch bit that I'm going to go through after I drill the 1/4 inch hole. And I'm just going to load it up. Let's see. I'm going to make sure if that's how I want it. Over here. Looks good. I just do this to get started. Since I've already have the holes in these blocks, I'll just put this hole in here and just drill straight through. And you know what? Let me see. Let me grab the camera and I'll get a close up. That way you see what I'm doing. Let's see, how can I set this up so that you can see right down there. There. Oh, let me center a little bit. Okay. So, I've already got my block that kind of mirrors where the holes are in that. This is my stop block so that I know that this is kind of centered on the table. So let's pop that in there. Not exactly, it's close enough. And put that there. I take the 1/4 inch drill block, put it in the hole here, and put it in the hole here, just so that I know I'm getting a straight down cut. There's that one, and I'll just do this one. That one went in easier because I think underneath here, if you can see, this is the 2x4 that holds the table. But that should still be fine. So we'll move this out of the way. Next, we'll get the 5/16 inch bit. Put it in here. Put it where that hole is. Drop that down. Make sure it's kind of balanced there. Alright. And then we'll do the same over here on this one. Open up the chuck a little bit. Should be good. I think what I'd had to do is I had to take a little razor on the other ones just to get the cut out, I don't know what you call it, but the extra little pieces out. And then here, I'm just going to cut it out just a little bit, the extra little pieces. Okay, so now I got that. And I take one of these, just to see if it's on the frame here. Come on, there we go, wake up. So again, these little things, I got these at Rockland. They're really cheap, but they're easy lock. One pack of 50. It wasn't very much. It was under 10 bucks. I forgot how much it cost, but there we go. In case you needed to know that. This is a hex bolt, and then I got my little hex wrench, and you just screw it in. Doesn't take that long, and it's not that hard. Do it by hand. Don't need a tool. You don't need a power tool. Let's just turn that in. You want to turn it so that it goes in and is flush, or probably if you can do a little bit extra turn so it's less than flush, so that it sets into the wood just a tad bit. So let's get that in there. And it's getting harder because of the top, but you just want to offset it a tad. You might not need it, but just it looks better and you won't catch anything. So that's just, come on. Oh, great. All right, don't want to strip it out, making it too tight. Let's get this one in. And really, I just kind of made this up as I went along. I came up with different ideas, led to different ideas. I think I watched a couple YouTube videos unrelated to this, which gave me the idea of these. I didn't even know these little devices existed, which was kind of cool. And I thought, man, if I make a frame or a jig to hold the frame together, that's going to take up a lot of space. And then I just kept brainstorming and brainstorming. Okay, so there we go. So there's that. Let's see. I ordered some screws and they were due yesterday, but they didn't come in yet, so I'm going to have to reuse these two screws just to make sure they fit. And these screws actually came with this rocker bracket. Let's see. If we did it right, they should fit in there. This should, let's see, where is it? Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's off by just a tad. I think I can get it in there, yeah. There. So that one's in. And what I'm going to do with the screws that I get, they're going to be Phillips head. And then I think what I'll just do, get my drill, zip, zip, be a lot faster than this. Okay, so that one's in, this one's in, and then, let's see here. So I got that one in here, I got that corner, where's it at? There. And then I'm just going to repeat it for this side and that side. And as you see, it's pretty easy. Never done that before, never used those before, but I drilled the 1/4 inch hole first, so that's where the bolts will screw in, the 1/4 inch bolts. And then after I got that into the table, I did it with the bigger 5/16 inch in order to get the easy locks in, and you know, it's in there. Okay, I will put the other ones in and then continue on with this project. All right, so I have my frame jig set up, already built into the table. The components are in the box. I'm going to see how long it takes to set it up. And then I also have my boards for the frame cut, the pocket holes in place, and everything ready to go. So if things have gone right, the framing jig will work to line up these pieces, and I should be able to crank out assembling them pretty fast. Let me get my phone and let's see. I'm going to time it here. There we go. So I'm going to time how long it takes to set up my framing jig, and once it's set up, I'm going to time out how fast it takes to assemble the jig. I already did it once the old way. This is going to be the new and improved way. So let's go. So what I did here is on each piece I labeled it so that I can with a picture. So if I'm standing here, I've got an arrow that points to that side of the table, and then I just drew a rectangle of the frame, and then I drew a small little picture of where it goes. That way I can visually see where it needs to go instead of trying to piece it together. So I can just, in theory, just drop these down where they go. Let's see here. Put this out of the way. And I should, like I said, should just be able to drop them really fast. Okay, so 8 minutes to set up the jig, and I'm sure I'll get better over time. This one goes here. So I can make the arrow correct. Alright, so let's say around 8 minutes to set up. So now my jig's set up. Now, moment of truth. I'm going to reset this and see how long it takes to assemble the frames. Okay, go. Okay, so I want to make my pocket holes facing down, just so I'm consistent. Pocket holes facing down. Okay, about a minute or so, and then we'll get the screws and we'll see how long it takes to assemble. And I keep one of these in the box just because otherwise I'm always searching for it. Let's see. And the same thing with that bit. I keep it in the box with the screws so I don't have to search for it. All right. There we go. So I don't know how long it took for for the other way, but I've got to do some adjustments, but it worked about 90% of where I wanted it to be. I got to make a little adjustments on the corners, make sure that my wood is cut to the correct length so it fits in the jig, but I mean, there you go. There's my frames. All right.